Chad Rupnerine says, "Can we get a horror movie where everybody is killed as an actor?" Well,
Chad, do I have a movie for you? I know a lot of people didn't enjoy it, but I liked the last Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the one
oh
that came
yeah,
out
you were
last
telling me
year.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, because it takes place in Texas, of course, where I'm at, and basically it's a small Texas town similar to where where I live, and all these young woke people are coming in and trying to throw a big party on a bus and buy property, and they're looking down their nose at the locals. Like one guy, just because he carries, they see him at the gas station, he carries, and they are kind of judging him. And they're just basically judging people and moving in like we're going to turn this into another Austin. Woohoo! And and then Leatherface shows up and you're like, "Oh, this is going to be good." And it
I have to
is.
see that movie now.
You have to see it. Yeah.
On a
Are you-
related note, for those that have not seen Tucker and Dale versus Evil,
Oh, that's great.
that's another movie I can thoroughly recommend of like college kids. So guess where they fall, interacting with some hillbillies that they think are all crazy Jason Leatherface killers.
Are you accusing Austin of being Texas's Portland?
Oh yeah, I don't consider sometimes I leave Texas to visit Austin. A little bit different.
Lord. No, yeah, I heard the movie was overly woke, and then you told me that, so I'm like, well, maybe I'll have to give it
That
a
was the
shot
good
then.
part. Yeah, some people say it's bad, but look, just look at it from that point of view. Someone who's I mean, it's kind of crazy here in Texas. There's a lot of people moving in, like cultural missionary types, and who are coming to convert everyone
It'd
and
be
think
nice
they
to
know
see
better.
a reverse on the woke. If somebody who actually shoved a message in there and it's actually the other way around, it'd be kind of interesting. Because guess what?
Gary, just real quick, the people that come to Texas to convert, are these by any chance the same people that escaped from LA?
Yes, there's a lot of them, and I'm kind of a hypocrite because I came from LA. I'm not originally from there. I'm from South Carolina, but I did 15 years there, and
I did.
I
yeah,
love it how she
15.
says it like it's prison. Exactly. Yeah.
did my time. But there are two types I've found out that are coming from California. There are the cultural refugees, which I fully welcome. They're coming to Texas for Texas. And then there are the cultural missionaries who haven't quite learned. They know that it's become unlivable in maybe the place they're coming from, but they don't quite. There's a
They don't know
disconnect on
why.
why it's unlivable. And they come here and they try to recreate the same thing. And it's like, but you just told me you had to leave there because it was too expensive to live. So why would you vote for the same things? I don't know. Anyway.
And therein lies the problem of being woke. Yeah. But no, that kind of reminds me of the last few days I've been seeing, I know there's been some hot debate about Picard. But guess what, Andre? Some people on the other side have now noticed some things that some of the other people have. And they're like, wait a minute, they're pissed about it.
Of course they are. I mean, I'm positively in shock at what happened there.
So this is one of the quotes I seen from Twitter where they said, "Are you kidding me? The show is about a bunch of boomers who are resistant to the woke disease."
Yeah, that's literally what it is.
So they're saying that the woke is a disease, and they're getting all pissed about it because that's what the message is. Yeah,
Which is the good message.
It's a great message. I mean, I submit. I mean, whatever personal flaws Terry Matalas may have, and based on his conduct on Twitter or something, there's obviously some. I've never had any interactions with him, so I have no qualms about saying that. But in terms of actually delivering some really good Star Trek with a very surprising message, I'm surprised could come out of Hollywood and Paramount, especially Secret Hideout, which only goes to show that Kurtzman obviously wasn't paying attention. But yeah,
Yes, correct.
that totally is the message of it. The moral and the message of Picard is that the boomers are the ones that are needed to save society because all the young people have been brainwashed and taken over by the woke virus that must be destroyed because that commie thing is going to destroy us all otherwise.
Yep.
yeah.
That's the message of Star Trek Picard Season 3.
Wow.
So yeah, the other side has now noticed this now, and they're pissed about it. So for what it's worth,
Well, the Cultural Revolution traditionally tosses away the old. So everything old is bad regardless. It doesn't matter if there was any useful learning. That is part of the cultural revolution that's existed since, well, at least since Nixon's time. So people don't understand. People are going, well, why the wholesale change? Why aren't they just taking the old comics and repurposing them? No, everything that we liked is bad.
Well,
that's just part of their stance.
Yeah, because, they don't like, people who want liberty and freedom. They want to suppress your liberty and freedom. And how do you do that? You get rid of stories that highlight liberty and freedom overcoming tyranny and suppression. It's I mean, you can't have heroes. You have to have a team of comrades. It is what it is. I mean, that's what all that
well,
is.
the equity part of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Equity actually means the usurping of the people they feel are the bourgeois. The bourgeois are white middle-class males, and it's not a question of learning and joining, it's usurping and removing without contributing. That's really their goal.
It's a very different view of Marxism. That's why I call it neo-Marxism.
It's actually more Maoism. I wouldn't call Marxists were a very class. We don't want to get into it, but okay. Marx was a classicist.
Well, okay,
and this group are not interested in the class.
No, but it's a good analogy, though. Sometimes I explain it in terms of Marxism. I used to be in it for about 20 years.
Okay.
I was in it for a long time, only because it's a good analogy. You're exactly right, Paul. It's not concerned with class, but in the way they viewed the world, the Marxism for dummies, I would say is sort of, it's a struggle between class groups for wealth, and we need to redistribute wealth, and then everything will reach equity. Mm-hmm. This ideology is instead of being concerned with class, it's concerned with identity. It says
right.
Life is a struggle between identity groups for power, and we must redistribute power. But that's why the old school Marxists, like the actual Marxists, they hate woke too, because they're like, no, we're still talking about class. Why are you talking about identity?
Which is why I don't say Marxist. I say it's more of
that's why I say neo-Marxist, because again, they're using the Maoist maneuvers, the cultural revolution. They're adapting it to the Western style of life, and they're trying to apply it, which is just going to get you to the same kind of end. It's neo-Marxism. That's what it is.
Or some people say identity Marxism to make it very plain.
Yeah, I'm more comfortable with that personally.
Well, you just don't like the word neo.
Let's get
because he was so good in the Matrix.
Well, the last one is just about him taking a little blue pill because he can't get it up no more.
There's only one movie.
Yeah, that's true. Well, anyway, let's get into a little bit here before we get into the